So we can go back to Saturday. Shawn Porter was in the building working.
Yeah.
Devin, undercard. First off,
Hey, Shawn Porter was looking clean.
Speed past me, man.
Shawn Porter,
Shawn
Porter worked a full 8-hour shift at that DAZN thing because that was the poorest sequence show that I've ever seen.
Oh man, you talking about
Do
that
no
man
fault
John?
of Shawn.
No fault of Shawn.
No, I did 12-hour shift because my first meeting was at 10 o'clock.
That timing was crazy.
I don't think I left there till 10.
Hey, my lady was like, "Can they just bring Shawn by the ring and announce?" I was like, "Oh,
yeah, yeah. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about that commentary team. But undercard. I don't think Jessica McCaskill did great. I don't think there was anything.
She got the third stoppage of her career.
And it was a battle. She was in there.
oh yeah, I was throwing them things."
Yeah, big time.
Stayed busy.
Do y'all agree with the stop?
Yeah,
Stop it?
Yeah.
I did.
The girl wasn't doing it.
Yeah,
She was throwing.
nothing was going to change. That's typically how I look at stoppages.
If nothing's gonna change,
then somebody's
get him out of the
getting
ring.
punched for no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Devin Haney.
Game, but
JoJo.
overmatched opponent.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Happens in boxing a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I thought JoJo wasn't going to win a round. I had him winning 2, so I'm man enough to say I was dressed.
I didn't win in 4.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, live is different than.
Okay.
Winning closer to 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I think I gave him 4 rounds, and I think Devin Haney made this harder than it could have been. He could have. I felt Devin Haney could have outboxed this guy and made this super easy. F what everybody says on the outside. Hey, get that easy work, baby.
You know what?
He could have boxed his head off all night.
You know what was impressive about that to me though is that Haney, like, he showed a fighting spirit. Tank is got a fighting spirit too. He's a dog, but he's a knockout artist. And he was less willing, although it's tactics. He's outboxing the aggressive fighter. But I'm kind of impressed with Haney's fighting spirit because Davis is a knockout artist, and he was kind of less willing to stay in the pocket for points in that fight. And Devin isn't a puncher like Davis is, and yet was still willing to stay inside. And that shows that he's not just a good boxer. He's got a fighting spirit. Haney does too. So but at the same time, he was getting hit with some left hands over and over again. Yeah.
All the left hands.
Is it me or everybody's watching the fights like, oh, you can't take that versus Tank. You can't do that versus Tank.
No, but it's true. You can't.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't. But
I think he was just good enough to win pretty comfortably. So I think, like you said, he maybe made it a little harder than he needed to. But it just comes down to what Devin was looking for. Did you want to kind of put on a show, make more of a splash than just outboxing him 1 through 12, which I think he could have done? Yeah, that's fine. But
I think that he and a lot of other tall, rangy fighters get very fixated on showing people that they have power. As a tall fighter, as a rangy fighter, the long arm guys, the fast guys, the quick guys, the slick guys, they all get compartmentalized into the box of that's all they are. And all those guys are always out to show that they're more than that. And I think that there were moments where Devin, I think that it's always going to be a part of his game plan is to show, to get, number one is to get respect from the other fighter and to try to knock the other fighter out. I think that a lot of those fighters are so determined to show people that they're more than just speed, more than just quickness and slickness, but they got the power that a guy like Tank Davis has as well. So I saw Devin step in there and take some chances. When you take chances, I think the thing that he didn't realize is that when you take those chances, now your fighting style has to actually change. If you're willing to sit down on a shot, you can't now go back to that quick defense that you normally use because your body is in a different
Stance.
It's in a different
Mindset.
state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not gonna move the way it normally would. So his best alternative when he does want to sit down on shots is to be able to connect and then roll and slip and get out of there. I love that I saw him stepping around in the middle of the fight and also at the end of the fight. It shows me that he's conditioned, and not just physically conditioned, but also mentally conditioned to stay on the game plan and to continue to do the things that are needed to do in order for him to win and be successful. When I saw him in the middle and also at the end of the fight, stepping around after his shots, I'm like, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I said that like on air, like whoever's consistent at what's getting the job done is who's going to win this fight. there was inconsistency coming from JoJo, where there were rounds where he just didn't punch as much and he wasn't as aggressive, and he had opportunities to back Devin up and put him on the ropes, and he did not. And then the consistencies that Devin showed in terms of sticking to his game plan, stepping around and continuing to use his jab and things like that. I agree with y'all 100%. When you want to show that you got dog and you got power, you have to change who you are at that point, at that moment, because it just is a fact that you're not in that same state to do, your body's not clicking the same. And so you have to be able to learn how to do both. You'll see like Tank, I know we'll get to that fight, but we'll see moments where Tank was moving, he was on his toes, but those moments where Tank was like, I'm going to sit in here and throw, you see his defense to get out was different. And that's, again, it's a part of the maturation process.
Also, credit to Devin kind of flashing back to last fight where he gets wobbled by the Linares punch. Obviously, JoJo not known for that kind of power,
right.
But Devin wore some shots. I don't think he was hurt ever that I can remember.
There were a couple moments where I felt like he might have been buzzed.
Think so.
Which is just a little different from being hurt.
A couple of those left hands.
Yeah.
The buzz situation is kind of like 2, 3 in the back.
Yeah.
And it's really not like you're going or anything like that. It's just like, damn.
Not that you want to prove that you can take punches, but it's something when we talk about a check mark.
I say that on a lot of these shows.
Yeah.
You never want to show that you can fight through a
or
cut.
that you can get up from a knockdown.
You never want to do that,
Yeah.
but in the case that it happens, yeah, definitely. I think he wore some left hands that weren't hellacious, but they were definitely
good
clean shots, and he weathered them all.
And you know, like you said, we get to see Devin Haney grow. All these guys, we actually get to see different styles. Yeah. They showing they got the power. They showing they can box with Tank,
right.
Devin, Shakira. We seeing a lot of different styles instead of like Shawn, for example. Oh, Shawn can. So I'm talking
about diverse styles.
Diverse styles.
Or
like
Shawn on the other end.
No.
That
Like,
wasn't where he was going.
That's right at all.
That's right.
Like with
Let him do it.
With the Earl fight. I didn't know you could box like that. But like with these guys, we actually get to see them grow up in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So it's a treat. Actually,
Haney stood and banged more, and Tank boxed more. Right. So we got to see how versatile they are. Mm-hmm. And Devin really went to the body well in this fight too.
Both guys did.
Yeah, they were both so intelligent in this fight. Diaz was so he got hit with a lot of shots at the same time, but he was so defensively responsible. Yeah. He was kind of using the defense maybe you're saying you got to do when you go forward. Like Canelo, the Austin Trout days, he would shoulder roll. Alfonso Gomez, he'd shoulder roll, but as he's gotten in cut the ring off more and he's staying in the pocket, you've seen those hands come up more and more, and it sounds like that's kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah. Like for instance, one thing that Devin does is like when he throws the jab hand is really low. He's orthodox. The jab hand is really low. Once you're this close to a guy, now that jab hand has to come up. Now after you finish that punch, that jab hand has to come back, because from the outside you can get away from whatever's going on, but this close, that connection with that left hand every time was because he's not as responsible as he needs to be. He's closer. The game, the style has to change now because he's in closer.
No,
I was gonna say for Devin, I think he deserves full credit for the win. I haven't seen much of people trying to nitpick JoJo's coming up or anything like that. Full credit for the win. I think Devin maybe at some point realized I have this pretty well in control and can win this pretty, not easily, that's disrespectful, but I can win. So then maybe that was why he was willing to maybe exchange more. But no, good win.
What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ed. Follow me on IG, Ed with 2 T's. Let's do it. Let's do it again. All right.
Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do. I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brenagh.
Carson A. Merk. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.